This is why you hate your job. For a while you had a feeling that something just wasn't right. A feeling that gradually became so intense that at times you felt a sensation that could only be called panic. In this video, we will uncover the root of this uneasiness and reveal exactly what it is that you must do about it. This anxiety wasn't there in the beginning. You remembered the joy you felt when you first started your job. It was a step up, a better salary, a promotion, perhaps even a new company. Your new colleagues seemed nice. The handover was a little tricky as the person in the role before you left without warning. But you did your best to get a handle on things, and eventually the imposter syndrome you had been experiencing subsided, and you began to gain a bit of confidence in the role. Every week there was an all-hands meeting. You introduced yourself at the first one and generally found them to be enjoyable. This is where they told you how great the company was doing, how it had the edge over its competitors, and how you were some of the most talented people in the industry. This is where they gave out chocolates for work well done, and the head of HR would announce a raft of new mental health initiatives, because mental health was so important. Sometimes the CEO would give an inspirational talk and tell you how you were not just managers, you were leaders. Often they'd have free food and other treats as they told you you weren't just colleagues, you were family. Sometimes on Fridays there would be fun activities at lunchtime or pizza for everyone. Oh God, what a fun place to work. Your workspace was quite minimal. There was no place for personal items as hot desking was normal. Plants weren't allowed either as they didn't last well in the air-conditioned office. Tea and coffee was free, so help yourself. And almost every day there was somebody's birthday cake. There was a culture of inclusivity. They loved to celebrate Gay Pride, Black History Month, Women's Day, and Mental Health Awareness Week. There were so many boxes to tick. And goddamn, your company ticked them all. They even had some impressive company values: authenticity and kindness, and trust in your people. This was what set you apart from your competitors, and you were proud to work for a company that really cared. Eventually the dust settled. There was a bit of confusion as to what your job actually entailed, as your manager routinely gave you work to do that was not strictly within your remit. They called everything a project, and apparently project work was part of your job. Naturally, you wanted to exceed expectations, but their instructions were not always clear. Often they would criticize and have you redo work several times over despite you following their brief to the letter. You noticed they would often take credit when things went well, and look for someone to blame when things didn't. They didn't hide the fact that they felt they were superior. They enjoyed having power, but managing people was clearly an inconvenient reality of the job. Your manager always needed attention and didn't like to be upstaged by anyone, especially in the company of more senior management. You sometimes went for lunch with your teammates, however, there was often an uneasiness. With many of your colleagues, it was hard to relax and be yourself. There was an air of mistrust. You gradually became measured in your responses and got the feeling it was safest not to always give your honest opinion, especially when it came to talking about other colleagues. Your team often stayed late and rarely worked from home. It was pretty clear this was how your manager liked it. The funny thing was, they seemed to spend more time updating LinkedIn with affirmations of loyalty to the company than actually doing work. But somehow that was okay. You found yourself oddly intimidated by those higher up in the organization. They made up an exclusive little club, holding on to all the power, choosing who may climb the ranks to join them. You knew they were just people, but the dynamics of this workplace made it all too clear who really called the shots. It was a delicate tightrope climb for those who wanted to advance. You must maintain unwavering devotion, leaning into the game, if you are to one day rise to the top. Those who break away or call out the bad behavior will often disappear without a word. Human resources makes problems go away. They are the gatekeepers of this corporate illusion. Performance review time comes around all too often, where a manager you may or may not get on with evaluates you. But no matter what they have to say about your performance, you can forget about a decent bonus this year. Despite hearing for months about how well the company is doing, unfortunately, targets have not been met. But they might still offer a token gesture amount in goodwill. That's right. Your company cares about you. You attend meetings, one-to-ones, and town halls, even meetings to discuss other meetings. You send emails to cover your tracks and make sure everything is in writing. You face difficult people and difficult conversations. Circle back, reach out, and take things offline. It's almost as if you lived in a simulation, mindlessly logging on each day and performing a role. Mustering excitement for a job that did nothing to nourish your soul. Just lining other people's pockets as you gave up the best part of your life to serve in someone else's dream, all in the hope of being rewarded. This is the real matrix. Without consciously knowing, you have become part of a machine, taking part in this grand performance as if this were your purpose. You're stuck on the hamster wheel. You've sold your soul in the hope of thriving, having choices, money, and more power. But somehow you have only given power away. Your contract was a pact that you would turn a blind eye to the contradictions, the manipulation, the unkept promises. And in return, you are drip-fed a salary. Not a big salary, but enough to have options, to keep up with those around you, to even be considered a success. You tell yourself you are just playing the corporate game. But deep down in those rare moments of clarity, you have a feeling this is not how your life was supposed to be. Despite the sugarcoating, the promises, and the distractions they may throw at you, executives have one key focus that is more important than anything else. It's profit. Those at the top have tried and true methods to keep the workforce under their control, keeping people in their roles, and even getting them excited about it. They have created an illusion of what success looks like, all in exchange for your life. But it doesn't have to be this way. Maya Angelou once said, "Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. You don't have to sacrifice your self-respect for the sake of good business. You can reclaim your authentic self when your power, your money, your happiness, and your livelihood are in the hands of another. It can so easily bring you to your knees. This is how you unconsciously fall under the control of this corporate machine. It slowly eats away at you. If only you were not so intoxicated by the life force that is your monthly salary. But there is something you can do about it. First, you need to loosen the grip that your company has over you. When you have other sources of income, the power of your main income provider weakens. It could be as simple as investing your money for regular high returns. Or you could even start a side hustle. By creating alternative income streams, you remove the corporate hold over you. Your constant need for management approval dissolves, and you gain a clarity that will propel you in one of two directions. Either this clarity enables you to play the corporate game with newfound confidence, undeterred by these corporate powermongers, prepared to beat them at their own game, perhaps even become one of them. Or you make a plan to exit this toxic situation. Not everyone is cut out for corporate life, particularly those who experience high levels of empathy and value authenticity. It doesn't have to be immediate, but having some sort of plan will eradicate that feeling of being stuck. Shifting your focus to a way out will raise your spirits and amplify your determination. Of course, it doesn't have to mean running away from the 9 to 5. There are companies emerging that genuinely advocate for transformational leadership and authenticity. Seek them out. Go freelance or become your own boss. Hone your entrepreneurial powers and escape the control of others forever. Another option is to find a remote, fully flexible role that at least allows you to say goodbye to office life forever and work the hours that fit around your actual life. Or you could learn a new high-paying skill that will put you in demand and in control. Learning something new is a great way to stop the feeling of being stuck. It's time to exit the mass brainwashing that is corporate life. It's deceptive, it's controlling, and it's unfair. But as they love to say, it's just business. Don't ignore the corporate illusion any longer. Give that like button a push and don't forget to subscribe for more great content like this video right here.